Just another brother with another humble question. Just another brother with another humble question.
Welcome to another episode of A Brother with Questions. I am your host, B. Period. I appreciate you for joining me. This is special news, man. Special news happening today. But before we get into that, let me dive in and ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. Man, hit that little like button for me, man. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know you appreciate it. And then share it with your friends. Tell your friends, like, have you heard this dude that refers to himself as B. Period on the internet? This guy's crazy. That's probably what my mother-in-law said. I love her though. Let's dive in, man. President Trump has had another attempt at his life, I guess, is what it's sounding like. We're gonna listen to Fox News. I chose this particularly because they have Sean Hannity. And as the world knows, he is a good friend of the former president, and so he has some firsthand information. So we're going to take a listen to this real quick.
Reported while he was golfing at his club in West Palm Beach at the Trump International Golf Course, not Mar-a-Lago. The former president is fine. His campaign says those shots were fired in the vicinity of the golf course. We're now waiting for an update from the Secret Service and police about all this. Hello, welcome to Fox News Live. I'm Eric Shawn.
And I'm Marcel Neville. So the Trump campaign did not specify where those shots may have been fired. And this, of course, is coming 2 months after the former president was shot at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And we do have Sean Hannity. Sean is going to join us live right now from your home studio. Sean, unfortunately, we're talking about this very subject today, unfortunately. But what do you know? Have you spoken to the former president?
I've spoken to the president, and I spoke to his golf partner, Steve Witkoff, a well-known developer, businessman in Miami and the Palm Beach area. So I got a lot of details. I'm very aware of the New York Post report that said that it was outside of the what's called Trump International in West Palm Beach, which is where I am. And anyway, so long story short, is President Trump, they were on the fifth hole, they were about to go up to putt, and the way Steve Witkoff, now, just a little bit of background, I happened to go to breakfast with Steve Witkoff and another friend of mine this morning, and I was invited to play golf. They happen to be really good golfers. I don't have a lot of time to play golf, so I said thank you, but I'm not going to go out on the golf course and get killed out there. But long story short, so they were playing, they were on the fifth hole. And the way Steve described this, the way the president described it, they both had exactly the same story, which was that they heard pop, 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 pop. And Steve went into great specificity and great detail as to what happened right after. Within seconds, the Secret Service pounced on the president, covered him. You had snipers with tripods. They knew the direction where the shots had been fired, and they had eyes on the location where the shots had been fired. And long story short, they were. I have confirmed with both the president and with Mr. Witkoff that the gun has been found. They identified it as an AK-47. And thanks to Secret Service drone video coverage, they were able to identify one individual involved in this shooting getting into a car after dropping the AK-47. And my understanding, according to both of them, is that that car has been identified, and I believe it's been surrounded. Whether or not that person has been apprehended or not, I don't know. This happened in a matter of seconds. A little more color, a little bit more details on this is that when they got on top of the president, immediately what is called a fast cart that I believe has steel reinforcement and protection was able to whisk the president away. And then the Secret Service immediately sprung into action. They had eyes on where the shooting had occurred. I saw the New York Post report that these were two people shooting at each other outside the course. I do know, and they did confirm that the shots were outside of the course, but certainly seemingly within range of the former president. So we don't have any details on any of that. They don't know that part. I only know the part of what they experienced while they were playing golf at Trump International in West Palm. Thankfully, the president is safe. Steve Witkoff is safe. The Secret Service apparently acted with incredible speed and professionalism, and but certainly alarming in every way imaginable in light of what happened in Butler, as you mentioned.
Yeah, of course, this is very alarming.
So there you got it. I mean, apparently they were playing golf. The former president and a friend were playing golf, and while playing golf, they heard shots be fired, and then of course, as we know, the Secret Service went into defense mode. And so what we know now is the particular gentleman who apparently was firing the shots, he has been apprehended. According to what I've been reading, it said that there was a witness who saw him. He apparently was hiding in some shrubs, they say, that were near the golf course. And so there are pictures online of the apparently the book bag that he had with him, the rifle that he had with him, a scope, and apparently some kind of GoPro camera were all recovered near the bushes that he was hiding in. And after firing the shots, a witness saw him run to a car. That witness apparently took the license plate down, took a photo of the license plate, and then gave that to authorities, for which they were then able to spot him on I-95 and apprehend him pulled over his car and then apprehended the individual. I have seen the name, but I think the name is irrelevant. But and so so he did have an AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks with ceramic tile, and a GoPro recovered from the scene. So while it doesn't seem like the reporting that he was firing at a random individual, that doesn't seem to be correct. It seems to be that he was certainly at least firing potentially in the direction of the president. Once again, of course, he missed. He apparently he obviously missed the president and whomever else he might have been aiming at, but that did happen. So, as they did a deep dive on this guy, and what they have seen is, according to his social media, it seems he did vote for the president back in 2016, potentially, at least according to his post. But there was a post that they read that said, "While you were my choice in 2016, I and the world hoped that President Trump would be different and better than the candidate, but we are all greatly disappointed. And it seems you are getting worse and devolving." And that was written in 2020. And then he said, "I will be glad when you are gone." So that's a post from June 2020, they say. And then most recently, he talked about apparently supporting, or at least agreeing on some level with President Biden. And of course, by default, Vice President Harris, and the things that they've been doing currently. So that's pretty much, it seems to be what they know right now at this point. And obviously the president was safe. He was not harmed in this matter. Neither was the gentleman that he was playing golf with. He was not harmed either. Seems like no one was injured, at least in this particular incident. But it is obviously troubling that once again, someone has taken shots at the president. So just a couple quick thoughts. And two things. So I think it's really interesting that we've now seen, excuse me, what appears to be two attempts on the life of the former president. And obviously in both attempts, he was not seriously injured. And so it leaves me asking a question. And I don't have the answer to this question, but I am thinking the question. And the question is very simple. What is it about former President Trump that makes him so dangerous that we've actively seen two potential attempts at his life at this point within 2 months? And I ask that question because as much as the media wants to make us believe that we don't know what a Trump presidency looks like, we know what a Trump presidency looks like. We had 4 years of it, 2016 to 2020. He was president. We know what it was, whether you like it, whether you hate it, whether you love it, whatever your feelings are, you know what it was. And so what is it that we're so afraid of that if he is reelected, it just don't understand the logic behind some of these individuals, well, these two individuals, and I'm sure they're not the only people who think this way, but these two individuals, by trying to get rid of him, what are they afraid of? What is the world afraid of is going to happen if he's elected once again? Are they afraid the democracy is going to be over? As the media and the Democrats keep saying? I mean, I just don't understand what we're afraid of or what we're supposed to be afraid of. Sure, he's going to enact some conservative related principles. Sure, some, not many, some. And he's going to talk a lot. Because, I think what I remember most about his presidency is that every day there was a conversation that the media went on and on and on and on about. The chances that he'll put a couple of Supreme Courts on there, maybe. And certainly that would have long-lasting implications, and depending on what side of the aisle you stand on, you might consider that one of the most horrible things ever. But even in that, whether he does it or Harris does it, it's going, somebody's going to do it. He obviously got a lot of federal judges put in place, and of course he attacked what is still being dubbed the healthcare policy, Obamacare, by President Obama, but a lot of those attempts kind of went flat. The Democrats were able to come in and kind of clean up some of that stuff that he was trying to do. So nothing long lasting that was affected there. But so what are we afraid of? And that's kind of where I'm going to end this video, because I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what is so afraid, what is so dangerous about former President Trump that within 2 months, two people would feel it important to try and take him out. Don't know. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about it. Because, that's how I'm going to end it. What do you think? Why is it in this particular scenario that is so important? Because in my lifetime, I can't think of any other moment in time where we've seen two attempts, certainly within such a short time frame, on a former president, in this case, life. And at the moment, he's not even president; he's just a candidate. So if you don't want him there, all you got to do is go vote and vote him out. So why is it so that you don't even want people to have the opportunity to vote him? If you know, let me know. Tell me what is so dangerous about this man that it's necessary to take these kind of steps. And on that note, I'm B period, and I'm out.